Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Monday, June 25th, 11:34 p.m. Mountain Time 2018. We're here at a new live stream I found. I'll be sharing it with you in a moment. You can get a close-up of Fissure 8. You can see here Fissure 8 very active as the sun has just set over the Big Island in Hawaii, Kilauea. You can see the noxious gas map profile here showing you where the LAYS and SO2 and SO4 are emanating from the danger zone. And there are some thermal images. Here's the Kilauea caldera. You can barely see it in sunset, steaming as we speak, coming off of a 5.2 magnitude explosion happening just hours ago. This is coming from Katie Unger. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and tell them Diamond sent you. And that, Katie, is your first boom ever from the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Thanks, guys, for setting up this live stream. We're going to be sending a lot of people over your way. Heads up. Gusting winds push Pawnee Fire acreage up. Fire jumps Walker Ridge. We discussed the exploding nature of this fire, and it is growing. The Pawnee Fire in Clear Lake Oaks, California, pictured 6:30 p.m. today, June 25th, 2018. Photo by Timothy Mian. Yeah, the Pawnee Fire continued its push into the backcountry on Monday, scorching a few thousand more acres as more air and ground resources joined the fight. Now at 10,500 acres, up 2,200 acres from the morning estimates with 5% containment. No way this fire is not contained, and anything could happen. So heads up in that region. If you come down and check, there is a nice fire map here. If you have areas, people in the region you want to see that are out of harm's way, come check out the Pawnee Fire on this map. It is interactive, so it's easy to use. Just enlarge and check it out. Right on the Indian Valley Reservoir, apparently. Check out the 416 fire update. Colorado 416, Durango wildfire, more than 600 acres in 2 days. The winds kicked up yesterday, died down today, and this baby grew quite a bit. Come check out the map. You can see the extensive, the red line is the line they're just letting go wild. And the black line is the containment line. This is where harm's way is. This is where people's houses are over here. Really nothing much in this region, so they're just letting it go up into the extreme territories and burn itself out. Monsoons will be on their way this Wednesday, maybe this weekend, but definitely within a week or so. The 416 fire outside Durango, Colorado grew to nearly 35,000 acres after expanding 584 acres on Sunday and another 54 on Saturday, authorities said. Weather conditions near the wildfire are expected to remain near critical on Monday. The wildfire, which has been burning in the San Juan National Forest since June 1st, now measures just under 35,000 acres, is 30% contained. Experts warn the fire could continue to expand because of hot temperatures forecast for the week. Hot and dry, very limited moisture, but the monsoons will come soon enough and quench this fire. Good job to the guys on the front line. Accumulating snow about to hit this province late in June. What are they talking about? This must be in the southern hemisphere. No, as much of the Atlantic Canada closes out the month of June with heavy rainfall, parts of Newfoundland could see a change to snow through Tuesday. Say it ain't snow. Newfoundland is bracing itself for even more snow, and here's how much they're expected to get. With lows of -C overnight, it doesn't matter. It's summer. While Ontario is bracing itself for scorching temperatures, probably not that scorching. This weekend, other parts of the country aren't so lucky. Let's check out the snowfall map. Boom, 10 to 15 centimeters in the interior, unpopulated regions. But heads up gander in the major highways and populated areas around the edge here. You could see snow coming to Newfoundland shortly. That's right now into tomorrow. Weather is already really gloomy with a 90% chance of rain all day, hovering at 10 degrees for the next couple of days, but it gets worse. Overnight, it's going to feel like -1. So despite central Canada enjoying the summer, you're going to be freezing your arses off over there. People obviously are not happy about this particular forecast, and most are expressing their disbelief on Twitter, saying it's like, what the F? And are you joking, right? No. What you really need to be saying is now is the time to prepare. Grand solar minimum much? Boom. Check out those ice jams in the rivers. Gorgeous. Look, this thing you play golf here. Whew. Guys, you moved to Newfoundland. Now, the record in Newfoundland for the most snow on a single day in June was 14 centimeters back on the 10th of June and back in 49. Not even during the Dalton minimum. Well, that's because nobody probably lived here because it was freezing. But they could potentially break that record right now while I'm speaking. And that's a boom. That's the first Denzel boom of the day. Newfoundland getting snow continuously through the summer. They are not having a summer. Newfoundland is the first city to have the year without a summer. That's a boom. Scientists record the lowest temperature ever. Here's how cold it got and when it got that cold. The lowest temperature ever recorded, according to this article, was negative 135. The ground station on July 23rd, 1983 at Vostok exceeded previous satellite-based estimates of minus 35 using a similar approach. But they're now recording from recent data in the last decade, negative 144. You're dead if you're out there on the East Antarctic Plateau. So the temperature has gotten colder and is now minus 144 degrees in Antarctica, and they're claiming it's melting. I know, Denzel, isn't that insane? Yeah, it's melting up there, minus 144. Bad weather in the south, not the southern hemisphere. We're talking Italy. This is Mount Etna and Catania, and there's a boom. Not only is Mount Etna about to boom, it's covered in snow, which is also a boom. Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? Mount Etna and snow in summer. Cold and bad weather in Sicily. Winter seems to be back. Snow on Etna and temperatures typical of January and Catania, where it rains without a break. Here's data and live photos, and it's insane. Yes. Yes, cold and bad weather. Other than June 25th this morning on most of Italy, especially in the extreme south, seems to be back to winter. Whew. Heads up. Yes, that white stuff is not pollen, and Al Gore lied to us. God, where has he been hiding? Al, come out of your cave. There's even a water spout there. Jeez. Temperatures worthy of the month of March with just plus 8C in Potenza, plus 9C in L'Aquila. Heavy rains hit the north. Winter's back, but it's cold all over the country. Jesus. And it's supposed to be summer. Those liars. Significant cold outbreak affects Europe, 20 centimeters. Yes, that's almost 8 inches of fresh snow in the Alps. Major water spouts, we just showed them to you. A significant cold outbreak for this time of year is affecting much of Europe. Nighttime and morning temperatures experienced across the continent are way below average. Now, Al told us it was never going to snow, and here we are in the middle of summer, and there's snow in Europe, and it's summer. Whew. Al, man, after a pretty warm, do you like that adjective there? Pretty warm and locally hot May, courtesy of the Omega blocking pattern, Europe is now experiencing the grand solar minimum. As predicted, cold outbreak pushed far from Scandinavia across East Central Europe and the Balkan Peninsula. Take a look. Warm and balmy? Yes, it appears that way. Oh, what happened? And then look at this cold nugget sitting over France, heads up Germany, and that is a cold boom pushing all the way here through the Alps and the Pyrenees. These are the 2-meter temperature anomalies thanks to the watchers and this excellent footage of picnic tables covered in snow in the summer. Extremely heavy rain floods Mumbai, totally fluxed, killing 4 people and smushing little tiny cars like they're little tiny cars. At least 4 people have been killed over the past 24 hours as heavy monsoon rains hit Mumbai, the city capital of the Indian state of Maharashtra, and the most populous city in India with an estimated city population of over 10 million. Get out of Dodge. Deadly floods and landslides destroy hundreds of homes in Vietnam. People have tiny helmets and plastic bags all over. Let's go to the video. Check out the plastic bags on these people. Check out the roads. Big chunks of asphalt just everywhere. That looks like a leg real quick. Whoa, that's a log. And here's the plastic bag footage. Check it out. Small motorcycles and plastic bag people everywhere. Yes, it's true. Bags are cheap and they're made of plastic and waterproof. So they're great when conditions are very grand solar minimum-esque and are totally fluxed in your region. Cosmic ray flux much? Yes, we know. Keep coming. Yes, we're well aware. Seismic update. We have the 4.7 in Chile happening while I'm talking. Then here's the 5.2 explosion. So we have a moderate downtick in activity in Kilauea. We're going to be watching it. Fissure 8 is still rocking hard. And there are hundreds and hundreds of daily eruptions on that island in the form of volcanic uptick. Look at these earthquakes. This is 24 hours I'm scrolling through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 100, 1, 2, 300, 300. In other words, there's a lot. No other quakes of note. This interesting ticker down here in Greenland, probably because of the massive quantities of snow still remaining on the island. 4.0, nonetheless. Mayotte, still banging off. We're waiting for a large explosion in the volcanic nature. Here's a 5.2. Jeez. A lot of magma moving into that region. Worldwide volcano news update. We have Ibu, Sabancaya, Ibico, possible eruption. No explosions of note. I'll let you check out the minor details on your own. Again, please come over here to Katie Unger. Give her a thumbs up and thank her for setting up this live stream. Tell her Diamond sent you. Links are below under the video where it says show more. Now, here we're looking at California. If you don't know, and you think the dangerous parts of California are by the San Andreas Fault, that's not the only place you got to be worried about. Check out the triangles in red. These are high to very high volcanic threats, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. As part of the USGS Survey Volcano Hazards Program, the California Volcano Observatory hadn't done an update to its map since 1989. And last year they went ahead and did that. So these are the danger areas in California for imminent eruption as we descend into the grand solar minimum. Medicine Lakes Volcano, Mount Shasta, Lassen, Clear Lakes Volcanic Field, Long Valley Volcanic Region, and the Ubahibi Craters, Mono Lakes region. Also moderate warning at the Coso Volcanic Field. High to very high threat down at Salton Buttes. So if you live in any of these regions within 15 to 20 kilometers, you're in the danger zone. And if you live east of them for up to 200 kilometers, you're in the death and danger zone. I'll leave you links to this map. It's on you to do your own planning. If we come over to spaceweathernews.com, we can see solar minimum sun dropping well into the A range here on GOES X-ray flux. But we can also see solar wind speed increasing rapidly after a phi angle shift. Now this is a coronal hole coupling with Earth and driving us into geomagnetic storm where we have been now for 6 hours. KP5, heads up. What that means is there's going to be some aurora out there. So get out there in Canada. Check it out. You guys in New Zealand are blowing up. So this was a much higher into the island just a moment ago, and it's dying down a little. This, in fact, was almost touching Minnesota. But still, you can see here up in eastern Canada, probably getting a good aurora show if the skies are cleared. Probably not with snow forecast in Newfoundland. And you can see here from the electron flux hitting the floor here, that's what sends us into that geomagnetic storm. And this is just the beginning of the coronal hole. So this could jump a little higher than 5 here, and we'll watch it closely, but you can see it's dropped back down. The first pulse has hit us, and we're going to be waiting on a little second pulse from this as the density continues to increase here. And you can see the phi angle increasing. So we're going to look for this to kick up to KP6 shortly, maybe drop down to 4 before it bangs back up. So heads up on space weather. Now, some of you think that there hasn't been a magnetic reversal for 700,000 years here. The Mata Yuma Bruins. This is the well-established and accepted mainstream idea of the last time a magnetic reversal occurred. But you can clearly see here from the seafloor data that there have been magnetic reversals about every 100,000 years for the last 700,000 years. And then as you get to more recent time, there has been a magnetic reversal every 11,500 or 12,000 years on average. The Gothenburg, the Mono Lake, the Lake Mungo, the La Champ. So it's my contention that this periodicity is probably expressed throughout, and we're just missing the fine-grained data. And then as you get further out, it looks even larger scale. But this is not the most recent magnetic reversal, 720,000 years ago. It was 12,000 years ago. And then there was one at 23, one at 33.5 kiloyears ago, one at 47. And we are currently living through one right now, which has nothing to do with the grand solar minimum. It's going to add insult to injury. It's going to rapidly cool the planet as our waning magnetosphere and cosmic rays increase. We're going to get more global flooding with more droughts, and the temperature is going to rapidly decrease like it has in every other grand minima event. This is not a theory, folks. So if you're commenting below and saying the grand solar minimum isn't even a theory, you're right. Anthropogenic global warming is a theory that has failed for 3 decades. The grand solar minimum is historical information plus scientific fact. Ask any plasma physicist, and they know that we're going into the next grand minimum. Just like here back in the medieval drop-off, and here in the Roman drop-off, and here in the Minoan drop-off, which ended the empire, you are in the modern empire drop-off, which is ending the empire that you're living in. And this is not a theory. This is a fact based on historical information and scientific data. We don't have a theory here. What we're doing is reporting on the fact that we are on one of these drop downs which end the empire. Now, anthropogenic global warming, which is a theory, claims that it's going to override this and you're all going to live as sea level rises and you all burn up. Unfortunately, it's not getting hotter. It's getting colder. The temperature, global temperature, has dropped over 0.6 degrees C since 2016, and it has dropped 0.43 degrees just this year. And you are here, and it's going to continue to get colder and colder and colder as the cosmic rays increase each subsequent solar cycle. And we're also in a magnetic reversal, which is going to make it happen quicker. In fact, we're in the interglacial, where we drop off into a glacial period, which lasts until the next magnetic reversal. But we'll get to that in another video. What we will talk about is the radio show tomorrow night, and our guest, Dr. Anita Bailey, PhD. Now, she sent me this amazing 26-page document that no one else has seen but her and I. And you have seen a little bit of this. It's on EMP, CME, and the grand solar minimum. Preparing for the risks of electrical grid disruptions and the coming grand solar minimum, which is not a theory, kids. So if you're watching this video and you think the grand solar minimum is a theory, then you don't know anything about science. When you have information telling us about the historical past, and you have ice core data that tells us why this happened, and we now know through plasma physics and science that we've entered the grand solar minimum based on real-time data, you should be preparing Well, you should be shitting your pants first, and then you should be preparing. Because at any moment, life as you know it is going to change dramatically. And that's that change, the dramatic change, which ends all empires. And I can tell you that by my research, the change is not good. But if you're in a rural area, you don't have to be part of the insanity. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow night on the radio show. There'll be links below. freedomslips.com Studio A, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Here's a little teaser. Space weather is a natural hazard that can significantly affect critical infrastructure, essentially to the economy, social well-being, and national security, such as electrical power, water supply, healthcare, transportation. Now, this memo is coming from the White House. They know what's coming, and they're not fixing the problem. They're not backing up the grid. And it's because Agenda 21 needs to cull the population. And you're a casualty. We'll be talking about it. But if you don't want to be a casualty, do you know that the FDA just approved a CBD drug? Dropping marijuana-based medicine from Schedule 1 down to a lesser level. This is good news. This is great news for those suffering from epilepsy. Epidiolex contains CBD and it is proven to stop seizures. Bar none. This is the best drug on the planet to stop seizures. We have countless case studies of children who have not been able to be stopped by any medical help except with cannabis oil from their seizures. They need to stop the prohibition against this plant. It literally has the curative power to cure thousands of diseases. The problem is it would destroy the pharmaceutical industry. And they need to get their paws on it. But you don't have to go through the pharmaceutical industry to get the benefits of CBD. You can buy Hemp Lucid now. Have you heard that Oppenheimer Ranch is giving you 20% off all products? That's because we don't take any money from them. We give you all the discounts so you can feel better. And you don't have to go to see the doctor. And you don't have to get sick. And you don't have to get that flesh-eating bacteria. And they have to amputate your leg and all that nonsense. You just come here and get 20% off the whole plant CBD right now. Anything you want. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments and I'll answer them. Ask the listeners. People get their life back from CBD. Has no side effects. It's completely safe. It's the safest medicine on earth. Isn't that right, Denzel? Guys, I hope you got something out of the video. Now is the time to prepare. Yep, we do. We don't have any of those t-shirts either for sale. We want you to spend your money on the proper preparation that you need to survive and thrive in this coming drop down. You're on the flexure between maroon and chartreuse. And chartreuse means the bass is about to hit the line. Be safe, everybody.